What's up, y'all? I am doing a summary of my 2018 Focus ST. It is the last year they made this car, and if you're thinking about getting one, I'm just going to make this quick video on kind of what it's like to own one and issues that I've had with it and all that fun stuff. But I'm going to take this thing on a little drive, find a spot to park it, and yeah, we'll go from there. It is a 2018. Oh shit, let me turn off music. And it is modified. It's full bolt-on coilovers, bigger tires, bigger wheels, all that fun stuff. Can you hear the cold start on it? AWE track exhaust with a 200 cell JC Pony Parts downpipe. So it is catted, but it's a high flow cat. And I just actually got it through emissions. Car does have a defouler on it. And we got the horses out in the field right now. This beautiful tree up here that I just took pictures with the car, kind of near it the other day. And unfortunately, when I leave my property, it's not my property, but I live here. I gotta open and close 2 gates. This is the first one. This is the easier one. The other one's huge. And one of the downsides of living on a farm is that it's basically a dirt road to get off the property. Which means as soon as I clean this car, I have to go up a dust road and coat the whole thing in dust. So that kind of sucks, but you know, it's that country life. So I'm in the middle of nowhere in Texas. Well, kind of the middle of nowhere in Texas. It's not that much in the middle of nowhere. Like an hour outside of Houston. But this is a lowered car. I'll show you more of that when we get out. And so you can hear my mud flaps scraping. The actual chassis, like pinch rails, all that's not actually touching. Bumpers, yada, yada, yada. It's the mud flaps that you hear, or that you may hear. There is 4 different maps from my Cobb access port on here, so it's tuned. It's full bolt-on and tuned. So that means I haven't dynoed the car, but generally that means it's going to make about 280 wheel horsepower or so, somewhere in that neighborhood. It's going to be sub 300 for sure. You really got to go either Garrett Power Max or a bigger turbo to hit above that 300 number. Yeah, I love the Oxford white. This is a pretty classic color for Ford, the newer Fords. The Mustang comes in this color. A whole bunch of different cars from Ford come in this color. Real carbon fiber on the door pulls. I've got some, they say it's real carbon fiber on, for example, like here. I don't buy it though, I'll be honest with you. Like this right here. But this is an ST1, so there's an ST1, an ST2, and an ST3. This is the ST1, and the reason I went with the base package, I actually wanted one on purpose, is because I'm 220 pounds and I don't fit in the Recaro buckets very well. I mean, I do, but they're pretty tight for like a long drive. Okay, we're finally off the property. Put my seatbelt on. And we'll take this thing for a quick drive. I'm gonna roll down the windows so you can kind of hear this car. It does have a blow-off valve. It's kind of an interesting way. So if you want to change what map it's on, right now I'm on a performance map. You hold cancel, and you actually see the tachometer when you go up, set up and down. You can see it actually change. So that's on map 2. Map 3 and map 4. Map 1 is a performance tune. Map 2 is a eco-friendly tune, so a low boost tune. Map 3 is a kind of a basic kind of mellow crackle tune, and then map 4 is a more aggressive crackle tune. And you'll actually hear that here in a second. It's just fun to have the crackle for car shows and stuff. I don't use it every day, obviously. But you can do that with Cobb. So a lot of people, you know, they debate on what tuning system to go for on these cars. And the Cobb is probably the easiest, most user-friendly, I'd say. And you've got on-the-fly map switching like that. So if I come off the exhaust a little bit, you can hear it start doing the pops. But yeah, it gets more aggressive if you really mess with the throttle. And then you can really hear that turbo doing its thing. The car is a ton of fun. The number one like mechanical issue that these cars usually have is the purge valve, which pretty much every one of these has. The purge valve is basically, it helps, well, it helps purge off vacuum pressure. And it's just a recall on these cars. This car has had it done, but it's actually starting to do it again. So I'll probably have to do a different purge valve. The other thing would be that the exhaust port can crack on these on the head. As long as you're driving these correctly, generally you're not going to deal with that issue, but it can happen. We got some police out. We got the soccer field filling up down the street here. Piss off some people. The soccer field. There's a spot to pull off. I'm gonna pull off and then talk, you know, a little more in depth about this car and what's on it. No cop behind me. That's good. Honestly, that's a pretty decent turnoff right there. I'm gonna use one of these. There's a public one up here that I'm probably going to use. I am in third gear. Third gear is the really long aggressive gear in this car. Third gear is about 30 to 90 in this car as it's tuned. The gear ratio basically supports 30 to upper 80s in this car, which is pretty wild. So roll racing really is kind of all about third gear. And I'm just gonna pull off on one of these. Probably gonna do this left one here. Sorry for my finger in the way there. I'm gonna edit some of this out probably, but yeah. Last time I did it on that other side when I tried to shoot this video, and I got absolutely caked in mud, so we're gonna avoid it this time. We'll step out of the car here, but anyway, carbon fiber ST badge. It's just a stick over. It is real carbon though, kind of cool. And then you've got your door pulls, which are real carbon. You've got the supposed real carbon, but I don't think it is. I think it's fake carbon, just a stick-on overlay. This is an actual replacement. Again, the ST1 interiors are really boring, so that was kind of the idea of sticking a little bit of carbon, you know, back on it, just because, just mix it up a little bit. I do have a Cybin carbon fiber hood on it. These are, people, I get asked what these wheels are all the time, but they're Ray's Graham Lights Set 57 CRs. Wasp just came after me there. And I love these. I love these wheels. They are 18 by 8.5 inches wide, and they are plus 38 offset. You do have the Amberson composite carbon fiber wing. It needs a recoat, especially on this top panel. I have Spec D taillights, I want to say these are called. I can never remember. I think they're called Spec Ds. AWE Trackhawk exhaust. I do have a ST carbon fiber license plate that's real stupid. This is an overlay just to kind of match. I do have the Rally Armor mud flaps there. The main reason actually I wanted these is they look really good on a lowered car. They don't look as good on this car if the car isn't lowered, in my opinion. But since I live on that dirt road, it helps protect me from absolute coating the crap every time I leave that dirt road on the car. I do have the Zen carbon fiber mirror caps. Pretty sweet. Those are like $250 for real carbon. And then I have the, they're called VLAN Demon Eye headlights. I'll switch them on for you real quick. You have to change some pins, but you can see the Demon Eye right there. Kind of neat, kind of fun. I do have a carbon fiber front lip right there. That is Extreme Online Carbon. Is Extreme Online Store I can't remember the name of it. It's something like that though. Engine intake, it does have a downpipe. It's full bolt-on. ESP, front mount intercooler. I believe that's the 3.5, I can't remember, 3.5 inch. But yeah, I do have some yellow. This is a pro tip. If you want really, really yellow fogs, do the fog overlay. So like the yellow clear over the fog, but then also get 3K yellow LED fog lights. And you'll get this like crazy, brilliant neon yellow at nighttime. So if you're ever wondering like, oh, why do my yellows not look that yellow? Do that combo and it'll be like stupid yellow. ST1, it doesn't have the Sync 3, even though this is the final year. This is the base model, so it doesn't have it. But yeah, that's basically it. They make a digital replacement for the gauge cluster here, which I really want, but it's $650 for a digital replacement for that. I think that's a little crazy. They also make a full-on digital replacement for the dash, which is insanely sick, but that's about $1,400. So if you're full bolt-on like I am right now and you're ready to go to big turbo, this car has a stock turbo on it. It's pretty much maxed out for what a stock turbo on this car will do. Tiny little snail. Going $1,400 is essentially 80%, probably 70% of the cost of going to a big turbo kit. For about $2,000, you can get into a pretty decent big turbo kit on these cars, and you're gonna make another 100 horsepower out of this car easy if you want to. If you stay on stock fuel, you're gonna end up right around that 360 to 380 if you're lucky mark, wheel horsepower. And then if you add like an E30 blend in fuel, then you can push it up to about 400 with auxiliary fuel or high pressure fuel pump. There's different ways you can go about doing that. And then past about that 400 to 420 mark, you're starting to want to think about forged bottom end internals or building the block basically in these cars. And I'm not going to go that far on this car because this car is my daily. Even though you can do a really, really reliable, big turbo build on this car, I am probably going to go big turbo maybe this fall, but I'm just going to do about that 360, 370 horsepower range and then stay on pump gas just for convenience and probably run it in a low boost for most of the time. But yeah, that's basically the car. I love owning it. I bought it in 2020, so I've owned it about 5 years now. I bought it during the pandemic and probably paid way too much for it, but it is a pretty clean example of one of these STs. It's really fun to drive. I would recommend getting coilovers or bags for it. They're way better than the stock suspension on these cars. I'm not a fan of lowering springs. I've been there, done that, and I'm just not a fan of them. But yeah, the purge valve is the only mechanical issue I've had with this car. Oh, there is one more thing. So there's a wheel speed sensor that died in this front right wheel here. And it did all sorts of crazy stuff. It threw off my traction control. But yeah, basically, that was the only mechanical thing I've had to deal with this car in 5 years of ownership. It is only 60,000 miles though. So it's still, even though I've owned it five years, and I'm not the original owner, it's a pretty low mileage car for the age. So they sound decent. It's still a 4-cylinder, pretty much. You know how it goes. There's very few 4-cylinders that sound like insanely good. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'll be happy. Usually pretty good about getting back to people. But until then, guys, have an awesome day. We'll do one little rip coming out of the lot here, and then we'll call it a day. There's not much room though. We'll do second gear. Anyway, have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.